Bookmarks for the church ladies from rear-ended dust. Sounds cute. It's nice to see you too. Thanks for keeping me company these past few days. Shema Yisrael Asher Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. Vahafta et Anat Elohecha ובכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודייך וחיו הדברים האלה אשר נוחים מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך וחיה כי ויחר אלוהיך אל הארץ אשר נספה אל אבותיך לאברהם ליצחק וליעקב לתת לך ערים גדולות וטובות אשר לא בנית ובתים מלאים כל טובה אשר לא מילאת וברות עצובים אשר לא עשת כהרים וזיתים אשר לא נתת והלכת ושבת הישמר לך פן תשכח את יראה אשר תשעך מארץ מצרים מבית עבדים. Good morning. So, excuse me. Today, we get to read from a brand new story. I've never read this story before. I don't know, like, sometimes I like to be an academic about it. And, you know, like, I've read, like, 8 different versions of The Descent of Inanna, because I think that the story is just, like, so spectacular. But, like, a part of that research, like, I bought all of these different translations, and some of the translations come with other stories in them. So this is the Epic of Anzu, right? And I've never read anything about the Epic of Anzu. Like, I know that it is Sumerian, right? But I've not researched it at all. I don't know what the plot is. But we're gonna read it. We're gonna find out what the Epic of Anzu is like. I'm sure at some point I'll get curious and I'll do some research, but for right now, today, story with no context. I have no idea what it's about, other than that it's about a character, probably a god? No, actually not a god, a human named Anzu. If it was a god, I would have known the name. A human named Anzu, probably a king. Let's see. Bixt Mary. That is a very good nickname. The only real God is Jesus. Well, if that's the case, Jesus must be very large. Tablet 1. I raise my song for the glorious son of the world's sovereign, cherished of Mami, the offspring of the mighty god Elil. I sing the praises of the glorious Nimrod, the beloved of Mami, and the son of the mighty god Elil, the offspring of Erkur, who rules the Anunnaki, is revered in the temple of Eninu, who supplies water to the cattle stalls and for the garden channels, and for reservoirs, both within the city and in the countryside. He is truly a warrior, whose attack is akin to the flood surge. It is he who leaves the war sash crimson, stained with blood. Thus do even the most savage and merciless Galu demons shudder with trepidation when he raises the battle cry. Hear the praises of the might of the superlative man of steel. This is some great man history. The superlative man of steel. Oh, indeed. Indeed. Okay. When who frenzied, occupied, and conquered the bound stone mountain. Yes, this is the second form of Yahweh, the king on the mountain. You wonder why I talk about this, right? It's because it's right here. They talk about him over and over and over and over again. All right, one more time. Hear the praises of the might of this superlative man of steel, who, when frenzied, conquered and bound Stone Mountain, whose weapon also came to defeat the high-flying Anzu bird. Oh. Anzu is a bird, whose weapon also came to defeat the high-flying Anzu bird, and who killed the bullman who dwelt within the great sea. A war man of metal, dealing swift death with his battle arms, fearless one who readily assembles into his ranks war legions. At this time, however, there was yet no stage made for the Igigi, and the Igigi were wont to gather and receive their Elil power. I like this phase transitions thing. That's very good. What about Aether? What about Yahweh as Aether? That's the one I'm curious about. Luminiferous Aether. When the Igigi were wont to gather to receive their Elil power, the great rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates, had come into being, yet this was before the fonts had given the water unto the land, before the seas filled their basins to the very edge of the world. The clouds were yet distant upon the far horizon round about. All the Igigi came together to the god's warrior, their father Elil. His sons the Igigi brought news, and raising their voices said, "Take heed, for the words which we speak are entirely true. In distant regions, upon a forested mountain known as Hei, there, within the very heart of the Anunnaki's far-flung realm, these same outlying lands have given birth to the Anzu bird. Know that its beak is alike to saw with countless serrations, and by all accounts his talons are like the piercing hooks of iron, which could tear to shreds the very firmament of the heavens. There are 11 breastplates which are layered upon his chest. The mountains have become his nest, and their peaks his perch, and this being the very Sierra which harbors the four winds, that when he makes his shriek, thus he stirs up the west wind, and the south wind too, which comes to parch the countryside, and the strong east wind he likewise brings, which fells tall cedars. And to the masses of frost which blow down from the north, whirlwinds which stir mightily, wreaking havoc on the plains, they all came together as he gathered them beneath his wings. Thus, not only the four winds, but the whirlwinds too are his." The Anzu bird. What's gonna happen to the Anzu bird? Okay. Elil will respond. About 4 years. Then Elil, the god's father, the god of Duranki, studied him, and yet he betrayed not a single indication of his impressions, but rather he examined Anzu up close with inquisitive eyes, deliberating the matter with himself in great consternation. "Who is the one that laid the egg of giving rise to this creature? Why has this terrifying fowl been brought here before me?" Ea rose to provide answer to the questions his heart sought, and the wise, far-seeing one spoke his words to Elil, saying, "It must have arisen from the waters of the great flood itself. It could only have been the sacred founts of the Apsu's gods, and thus it must have been conceived within the wide earth. And he emerged into this world from the rock-strewn Sierra, but as you've seen Anzu now, have him serve you for all time. We're talking about great men, right? Let him guide the way to your central chamber henceforth. Let him be there too when you bathe in purified waters. And also, let him watch over the objects of your Elil power. Elil heard, and considered everything that was spoken to him, and then he selected the place for a cult center in the city of Nippur. He had the power to give commands to every one of the gods, and he produced a new destiny that Anzu might take charge of. Elil made him guard over the entryway of his sacred chamber. He was there too when he bathed himself in purified water. Within clear view before him were objects of his Elil power. Majestic crown, fine robe, tablet of fate within his hands. A tablet of fate, I want one of those. Anzu looked at these and the Duranki's god, father of the gods, and he made up his mind to take the Elil power. For himself, Anzu's going to try to take the Elil power. Anzu time and again looked at Duranki's god, the god's father, and he was determined to acquire the Elil power for himself. The tablet of fate will no longer be the gods, but will be mine. I will have the power to command every one of the gods. I will have the throne for myself and dictate all manner of rights, and also I will be the commander-in-chief of all of the Igigi, says the Anzu bird. Thus did he contemplate rebellious intentions with his heart, and there in the hall, at the entrance of Elil's private rooms, from the place where he usually looked, anticipated morning, so while Elil undertook his ablutions in the purified water, entirely naked, having left, always naked, the gods are always naked in these stories, it's great, entirely naked, having left his crown sitting upon his throne, thus it was that he took the tablet of fire, the Elil power, all rights were neglected once Anzu took wing and vanished, with not a glimmer of light and not a whisper to be heard. Hi, Batya. Good morning, how are you? Well, okay, so now I think we know the general fabric of the story. There was a bird, a primordial monster, who came from the mountains and commanded the winds. And Elil the high god said, you know, you would be really great as set dressing for my great palace. You'd be so great. Why don't you come and hang out in my palace with me? And Anzu's like, you don't control my destiny. And then he just takes Elil's powers and flies away. What will happen? Almost certainly a hero will come and kill the Anzu bird, but we will have to wait for, you know, tomorrow and the next day and the next day to find out. Good morning, Mr. Jacob Toe. It's been a while. How are you? He stole Elil's powers while Elil was naked. Elil took his crown off, and then the Anzu bird stole the crown, as well as his other kingly robes, I assume. Otherwise, why mention that he was naked? It's great. I love these stories. So, I have to go at 11. We have 9 minutes left. Producing a new destiny. What does it say? What does it say specifically? Can quote it. Destiny. Where does the word destiny show up? Elil had considered everything that was spoken to him, and then he selected the place for a cult center in the city of Nippur. He had the power to give commands to every one of the gods, and he produced a new destiny that Anzu might take charge of. Elil made him guard over the entryway of his secret chamber. He was there, too, when he bathed himself in the purified water. Huh. That's so great. That idea, when they come together and they're fighting about the tablet. Yeah. You mean in Exodus? No, you're not crazy. This book is called The Epic of Anzu. Yes, The Epic of Anzu. The Epic of the Anzu book, Nervous Forest Nymph. From a compilation of stories about Inanna. The Tablet of Destiny. Oh yes, there was a Tablet of Destiny. Where was the Tablet of Destiny? The objects of Alil's power. He took the... give command, dictate the matters. Where is the tablet? Yes, thus it was that he took the Tablet of Fate, the Elil power. All rights were neglected once Anzu took wing and vanished. Yes, he took the Destiny Tablet. Yeah, Elil's like, I'm gonna make a new destiny for you. You're gonna be my bird that hangs out in my bathroom. And he says, no, I'm gonna take the Tablet of Fate, and I'm gonna take your holy crown, and I'm gonna fly away with it. So good. I will post more videos in the summertime. I'm going to be teaching a class on TikTok again this summer. So, yeah, when I'm teaching that class, I'll post more videos. Promise. Okay, I have 6 minutes. You'll join? We'll make videos together in July? I would like that. I would like that very much. I just got the contract for the class today, or yesterday. Yeah. So, I'm gonna run out of time. I've got to say Arati and Kaddish. And then, I will leave you. Until I go off to talk to my therapist, Mr. Jacob Toe. Jaya Jaya Arati Vina Vinayaka Vina Vinayaka Shri Ganesha Jaya Jaya Arati Supramanya Supramanya Kartikeya Jaya Jaya Arati Venugopala Venugopala Venuola Papa Vidura Navanita Chora Jaya Jaya Arati Venkantaramana Venkantaramana Sankatarana Sitarama Radhe Shama Jaya Jaya Arati Gauri Manohara Gauri Manohara Bhavani Sankara Sambasara Shiva Uma Maheshwara Jaya Jaya Arati Raja Rajeshwari Raja Rajeshwari Tripura Sundari Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali Mahashakti Jaya Jaya Arati Anjaneya Anjaneya Hanumanta Jaya Jaya Arati Dattatreya Dattatreya Trimutri Avatara Jaya Jaya Arati Adityaya Adityaya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jaya Arati Sanistaraya Sanistaraya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jaya Arati Sankaracharya Sankaracharya Advaita Gurave Jaya Jaya Arati Sadgurunata Sadgurunata Shivananda Jaya Jaya Arati Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Jaya Jaya Arati Agastya Munaye Agastya Munaye Shriyama Priyaye Jaya Jaya Arati Ayappa Samine Dharma Shastave Jaya Jaya Arati Jesus Gurave Moses Gurave Buddha Gurave Jaya Jaya Arati Mohammed Gurave Guru Nanak Gurave Samastya Grubho Namaha Jaya Jaya Arati Venugopala Natatra Suyobati Natandrakara Tamnima Vidyobati Kutoya Magni Twameva Bantaminabandi Sarvam Tasya Pasya Samidam Bibanti Om Gange Kayamane Kaiva Govari Saraswati Narmade Sirikaveri Namaste Tam Namo Namaha Twameva Mata Chapita Twameva Twameva Bandisha Saka Twameva Vidya Javinam Twameva Sarvam Mama Deva Kayena Vacha Manasandriya Hirva Buddhyat Manava Prakrite Sabhavad Karom Yadyad Sakalam Parasmahi Narayana Iti Sarmar Payami Savadamam Pravichaya Mamikam Saranam Raja Aham Sva Sarva Papayo Mukshaya Mima Sucha whatever actions I perform with my body, speech, mind, senses, my nature, my intellect, or my emotions, all these, I dedicate to you. Thank you so much for sharing these mornings with me. How do you feel about your son marrying someone who isn't Jewish? I imagine you have many feelings about that. How was the wedding? I'm sorry, I really can't stay. I have to go in 2 minutes. So it's time for Kaddish. Otherwise, I'd love to ask you more questions, Batya. Congratulations. So the Kaddish is a prayer of death. We can mourn for the tablet of fate that was stolen by the Anzu bird, and praise the Anzu bird for taking fate into his own hands. Batya, join the Discord. So we say these words to remember that suffering exists, but we do not need to suffer alone. Okay, Buttflakes McCoy. Yeah, let's talk about it tomorrow. The words of the Kaddish go like this. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba. B'yama dirachyote v'yamlich malchete. B'chayachon v'yamechon v'chayedikol be Israel. B'agala v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehe shemei rabba mevarach le'lam omei omaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yirman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudisha b'richu le'la min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata d'yamiran b'yama v'imru. Amen. Yehe shlamai rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yachol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom v'imramav huya aseh shalom aleinu v'yachol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav huya aseh shalom aleinu v'yachol Yisrael v'imru v'imru. Amen. Batya, what's stopping you from joining the Discord? I took the paywall down many months ago. I'm sorry if I didn't tell you that earlier. I felt bad. The Discord server wasn't really offering something that was worth $5 a month in my mind. I wish it was. So I unlinked it from Patreon, so you can just join. Yeah, there's a link in my bio. Just click the link. You can join the Discord server. We can chat. The paywall's been gone for over a year. Yeah. If you want to support me, you can, right? You can send TikTok gifts or a tip on Koji, or you can subscribe on Patreon or subscribe on TikTok or whatever it is. Yeah, you don't need a credit card. Just make a Discord account. All you need is an email. Yeah. Sorry I didn't make that clearer to you. We've had this conversation a few times, but I guess I didn't explicitly say that I'd removed the paywall. I don't know how to monetize myself on the internet. Yeah, so monetizing the Discord was an attempt, and it was a bit of a failed attempt. But Discord's still important, so join. Yeah. Okay, I have to go. I'm already a minute late. I love you all. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you here tomorrow to say all these words again, okay? Bye. Oh, Dr. Punk, goodbye. Hello, goodbye.